Ever wish you had more sunshine, better value, and a life without those brutal northern winters? Let me tell you, I discovered a place that gives you all that and more. Moving to a new area can be filled with challenges, skeletons in the closet, and serious regrets that most people don't discover until it's too late. But here's the thing, I can help you with all of that. I relocated from Minnesota years ago, and I'm going to show you exactly what to expect, how to avoid the common traps, and reveal whether Raleigh truly lives up to the hype. All that so you can make your relocation decision with complete confidence. Hey guys, today I'm gonna share everything about my experience moving from Minnesota to Raleigh back in 2015. One thing you need to know is that while each person will have their own experience, there are important elements to life here that you should know before considering Raleigh. And I know it can be totally overwhelming, so I made sure this wasn't just another relocation video. It's actually an opportunity to get an insider's perspective from someone who's made this journey. I promise I'll be honest. So what will you see today? I broke my experience into 7 different phases, which you might also go through to make it all more digestible and easy to follow. By the end, I'll share some really important advice to help you decide if you want to move here and what to expect. Stay put. Okay, so let's start with why I decided to leave Minnesota in the first place. The weather was probably the biggest factor when I moved here in 2015. I think anyone living in the north, especially in states with substantial snowfall or just cold temperatures in general, knows that feeling when life gets undesirable for almost 6 months in a row. But here's what gets me excited about North Carolina's climate. We still have all 4 seasons, which is incredible because I think that's a major concern when people consider moving south. There's this fear that you're going to lose those in-between seasons, which personally are my favorites. Fall with the gorgeous color changes and spring with everything blooming, they're both spectacular here. And while this was my initial motivation, I'll share later about how the job market became an unexpected factor as well. So in Raleigh, we still experience those 4 distinct seasons, and they're just milder versions of what you're used to up north. The coldest it typically gets here is in the 20s, while in Minnesota, temperatures regularly plunge below 0. That difference is life-changing when you think about daily comfort, heating bills, and just your overall quality of life. Now, weather wasn't my only reason to come. If you're coming from northern states, you'll find North Carolina is substantially and generally more affordable, although the cost of living varies by region. So housing costs, overall taxes, and the general prices provide significant savings for many transplants. This factor becomes even more important now with housing prices climbing nationwide. So when I started researching where to move, I initially focused on coastal areas like Wilmington because, let's face it, the ocean is really appealing. This is especially true for many people relocating from places like New York or Long Island, which is a considerable chunk of our transplants. But here's something important to consider. While exploring Wilmington and other coastal communities, I quickly discovered that the job market simply wasn't as strong there. So I researched just a little bit more. Based on that and the scale of Research Triangle Park, I noticed the Triangle area, particularly Raleigh, offered many more employment opportunities for me. The Research Triangle Park, with its concentration of tech companies, healthcare organizations, and educational institutions, creates a stability that's rare in many markets. This dynamic job ecosystem was ultimately what drew me to Raleigh, specifically over other options in North Carolina. Let's say you're someone who moved here from Boston for a job at one of our major tech companies. It's possible that within 2 years, you could have 2 or 3 competing offers from other local firms. That's the kind of opportunity that exists here. There are some important aspects to that, though, that impact everything from traffic to schools, so we'll cover that in a minute. If you're thinking about relocating, job prospects should be at the top of your consideration list. It's not just about finding one good position, but landing in a market with enough diversity that you'll have career growth options for many years to come. But what about the regrets that I mentioned? Before I talk about some of these, if you're enjoying this honest look at Raleigh living, I'd love if you subscribe to our channel. I post new content all the time about everything from neighborhood comparisons to market updates and relocation strategies. You'll stay informed about everything Raleigh. Okay, back to our video. Now, what are some of the unexpected challenges that come with relocating to North Carolina? These are the things most real estate agents won't tell you about, but they can come as quite a shock if you're unprepared. And if you aren't prepared for these things, you could absolutely regret making the move to this area. First, we pay vehicle property tax here in North Carolina. For those unfamiliar familiar, this means you'll pay an annual tax on your vehicles based on their value. It's completely different from the system in most northern states, and it catches many transplants by surprise when that first bill arrives. Luckily, I came prepared. Another thing you'll need to adjust to is mandatory annual car inspections. Your vehicles must pass both safety and emissions tests before you can renew your registration. It's not a huge hurdle, but it's one more administrative task you'll need to build into your annual routine after moving here. And when we get to the myth-busting section later on, I'll show you how these costs actually balance out compared to northern tax structures in ways people never think about. Something that particularly impacts families with children concerns school districts. In many northern areas, school zoning is straightforward and stable. You're assigned to a school based on your address, and those boundaries rarely change, but that's not how it works here. Because the Triangle area is growing so rapidly, school rezoning happens frequently. The districts are periodically reassigning students to different schools to accommodate population growth. Although it's a structured cycle, this can be really disruptive if you're not prepared for it. So this is something that can make you feel blindsided, even if proposed changes are typically announced years in advance. But that feeling comes up mainly because it's so different from what people experienced up north. And that's also why I make sure to have detailed conversations about school planning with all of my relocation clients. These challenges aren't deal breakers by any means, but knowing about them in advance helps you set proper expectations. It's one of the reasons why working with someone who specializes in relocations can save you so much stress and prevent costly mistakes. So, when did Raleigh start to feel like home for me? When did I know that, despite the challenges, this was where I wanted to stay? It honestly took about a year. Moving anywhere new requires an adjustment period. You need time to establish routines, find your favorite places, and build a community. For me, that process took a solid 12 months before I truly felt settled, because you have to get established in your church or find your doctor's office, find your dentist, hairstylist, and build those foundational connections that make a place feel like home. This is something I consistently tell my relocation clients who feel unsettled 6 or 7 months after moving. It's completely normal to still feel like a visitor at that point. Your brain needs time to create new patterns and memories in a place before it truly feels like home. If you're feeling homesick and disconnected, I encourage you guys to give it just a bit more time. 3 or 4 months later, you'll have joined a local recreational league and found your favorite coffee shop where baristas know your order, or something else that brings you a sense of belonging, but it just takes time. And in this sense, what sets the Triangle apart is how welcoming people tend to be towards newcomers. Unlike some areas where being an outsider can be a permanent status, people here understand that growth means embracing new residents. This makes the transition smoother than in many other regions that I've seen. Side note, if you think community welcome is nice, wait until I share the myth-busting truths about Southern hospitality. Now that I've been here for 10 years, I can honestly assess the pros and cons with the benefit of experience. The weather continues to be one of the biggest advantages. Those brutal Minnesota winters feel like a distant memory, and I don't miss them one bit. The economic opportunities in the area have only strengthened since I've arrived. The Triangle continues to attract major employers and entrepreneurs, creating a resilient job market that weathered the pandemic better than many other regions. If professional growth is important to you, this is still one of the best places to be. So our quality of life is exceptional when you consider what you get for your money. Housing remains more affordable than comparable northern North Carolina metro areas, though prices have certainly increased as more people discover what makes this area so special. Now, for some reality checks. Traffic has definitely increased as more people move to the area. What used to be a 15-minute commute a few years ago might take 25 to 30 minutes now in key corridors during peak times. It's nowhere near the congestion of larger cities, but it's a noticeable change from 10 years ago. Later on, I'll share a specific strategy that helps relocators deal with this issue. The rapid growth also means constant construction. New developments, road expansions, and infrastructure upgrades are visible throughout the region. This creates some short-term inconveniences, but it supports the long-term health of this area. And while the weather is generally milder, we do occasionally experience extreme events, from hurricane impacts to rare ice storms that the region isn't fully equipped to handle. These events are infrequent, but can catch northern transplants off guard because our infrastructure isn't built for the same challenges as Minnesota municipalities. Before I share some direct bits of advice with you, let me talk about some of the common myths and concerns I hear from northerners considering the move to Raleigh. First, the South doesn't have real seasons. This is simply not true for the Triangle area. We have gorgeous springs with dogwoods and azaleas blooming, warm summers perfect for lake activities, stunning fall foliage, and yes, even a winter season. It's just not the punishing winter you're used to up north. Second, Southern hospitality isn't real. While I can't speak for every interaction that you'll have, the warmth and friendliness here are genuine. People make eye contact, strike up conversations in grocery store lines, and generally maintain a more relaxed pace of social interaction. It took some adjustment coming from the more reserved northern demeanor, but it's one of the things that I've come to appreciate most about the area. Then we have, I'll miss the culture and the amenities of bigger northern cities. Well, the Triangle offers an impressive array of cultural institutions, from performing arts venues to museums and international cuisine. Sure, it's not New York or Chicago, but the cultural scene here punches well above its weight for a metro area this size, and it's growing rapidly. That is the kind of thing you'll be able to figure out on your own once you follow my bits of advice at the end of this video, so stick around. It's too conservative politically. The Triangle area is actually quite diverse in its political makeup, with the university presence creating progressive enclaves alongside more traditional communities. Whatever your political leanings, you can find communities that share your values, and I'm sure of that. Lastly, the schools aren't as good as in the north. Our top public schools compete nationally, and we have excellent private options too. The universities here are world-class, with Duke, UNC, and NC State forming a powerhouse academic triangle that few regions can match. Now that we busted some myths that could hinder your decision to move here, I have a really nice online tool that helps you find communities aligned with your specific values and lifestyle. But before that, I think it's best that I share my general tips about things to think about when deciding to come here. If you're seriously considering relocating here from another state, here's my best advice based on helping hundreds of families make this exact transition. First, come visit during spring or fall when temperatures are mild and you can see the area at its most beautiful. Winter visits won't give you the full picture of what makes this region so special. And summer can sometimes be uncomfortably hot if you're not used to it. While you're here, spend several days driving around different areas to get familiar with the geography and communities. The Triangle covers a surprisingly large area, and neighborhoods just 15 minutes apart can have completely different feels and amenities. We have a Raleigh Locals Guide. If you comment local in the comments, I will send you a copy of the Raleigh Locals Guide for things to be prepared and visit while you're in the area. Most importantly, test out the specific elements that matter most to your lifestyle. If faith is important to you, attend a local church service. If outdoor recreation is your priority, explore our greenway system or parks. If dining and nightlife matter, spend evenings in different downtown areas. And here's what gets me really excited about helping people relocate. You don't have to figure this out alone or waste time with aimless exploration. Working with a relocation specialist like me means having someone who can create a targeted itinerary based specifically on your needs, priorities, and lifestyle. In fact, we've developed something that I think is truly revolutionary for relocation clients. It's our neighborhood match survey, which goes beyond just locating neighborhoods that might suit your preferences. This technology, divided into 3 sections, and takes into consideration your preferences, things you think are ideal in a home, and much more. It is a game changer for out-of-state buyers who have limited time to explore before making decisions. And also, our neighborhood match survey can help with this too, as it creates a tentative itinerary while you're visiting of all the different places to check out that would be most important to you. So if you don't know where to start, this tool can get you that critical guidance, and the link will be in the description below for you to take it. If watching this video has you thinking about making Raleigh your new home, I want you to know that relocating doesn't have to be overwhelming. As someone who's walked this exact path from Minnesota to the Triangle area, I developed a specialized approach for busy professionals who need a real estate expert to handle all aspects of their move. My team and I are ready to help serve you with that genuine Southern hospitality that I mentioned earlier. We'll guide you through every step of finding your perfect Triangle home, a place where you can truly feel at home. Don't let distance or busy schedules stand in your way. Email me at hello@davisonmaine.com today, and let's start planning your smooth transition to Raleigh. And don't forget to make use of the neighborhood match survey. Before you click away, if you're unsure of where to live in RDU, then you need to watch this next video where I break down exactly how to decide where to live. See you guys in the next one.